Yo, welcome to Hard Path. I am your host, Jacques Slade. It's the show that is not happy that my man Serge Ibaka was named to the League Fits All Drip third team. He should be no less than a first teamer. I mean, did you see those scarves? You could design like a badass roller coaster based on those scarves. You couldn't rig the voting? Come on now, I'm not mad at you, League Fits. I'm just disappointed. So let's start with some hot takes. Last week I did an unboxing, well, more of an unwrapping of the Bait Toy Story Reebok Instant Pump Fury collab. Naturally, Disney fans were all over them and the rush to get in on the raffle was rough. Well, it turns out that if you won the raffle, you got the chance to pick up the second half of the collab that features the Green Army Men. I'm not sure I would spend another $200 for those little guys on top of the $200 for the Woody and Buzz pair, but I kind of want to see how far Bait could take it before people tap out. Maybe next week it's Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, and then the week after it's Rex and Ham. I just want to see how far we'll go until we get to Forky and we have this existential crisis with our wallets. Yeah, still not sure why Toy Story 4 happened, except that it gave us a glorious clip of Tom Hanks showing off his skills playing spades and whist, and Tim Allen is mad uncomfortable.
You're playing spades. You got 4 in the possible. Your partner says he got 4 in the possible. The guys you've been playing with, they've been talking crap the whole game. What do? Do you bid 9 or do you bid 10, go wheels, and go all out for it?
10.
10?
Go all out.
I always knew that Hanks was for the culture. And I don't mean his son Chet. All right, Jordan Brand has another Zion Williamson Air Jordan 34 PE on the way, and it's got a very cool concept. The 34 appears to be colored in by his younger half brother Noah. It even includes insoles that contain a note from the kid, an Air Jordan 34 coloring book, and a postcard that shows Zion and Noah on the court. Not gonna lie, when I first saw the court, my first thought was, wow, that's so cool of Michael Jordan to do a photo shoot with Zion. Speaking of Michael, I saw some footage of MJ in an upscale gym in 1994 getting in some runs with the locals in the Air Jordan 9 that I had never seen before. It's a precursor to all of those summer workout videos we see on Instagram now, but it also led me down a YouTube rabbit hole to this footage from another game where MJ looks like all of us, taking it easy while somebody else hogs the ball. I mean, I get it. You're playing with the GOAT and you want to show you got moves, but if there's somebody in the gym who is not impressed with your Tim Hardaway impression, it's probably going to be MJ. EA Sports had a big showing during the EA Play presentation this past week, showing off footage of FIFA and Madden on next-gen consoles and surprising everybody with an announcement that Skate is coming back. No word yet on whether it's a remaster of the previous game in the series or if Skate 4 is finally gonna happen. But if Skate is back, I'm gonna need EA to help me out here and bring back NBA Street as well. It could be a remaster of Volume 2 or a whole new game. I need my game breakers and weird 2000s style mixing home shorts and road jerseys. Never saw anybody in the streets or on the courts do that, and it's still weird to me to this day, to be honest. Congratulations to this year's inductees to the Strong Museum World Video Game Hall of Fame. Yes, that is an actual place in New York that I will visit as soon as everybody starts wearing masks in public. The 2020 class are comprised of Minecraft, Centipede, Bejeweled, and King's Quest. Previous inductees include Super Mario Bros., Street Fighter 2, Halo, Tomb Raider, and World of Warcraft. Looking forward to the 2021 class that better include GoldenEye 007 on N64, or else this whole thing is a sham. I'll even donate my still maybe working CRT in the garage if that will help the committee get it right. The NBA's 100-plus page document planning out the league's return in Orlando bubble has made its way to the public, and it details everything from accommodations like unlimited playing cards to not being tested for weed. One of the most surprising things to come out of this document is that players will have a snitch hotline where they can call out colleagues not following the safety protocols. We all have our guesses as to who would and who wouldn't snitch on other players, Rondo and CP. But I wonder if anybody has thought about the sneaker situation in the bubble. And since every other outlet has asked all the pertinent questions about player and coach safety, I have to ask these 5 questions for the sake of the sneaker culture. Number 5, will PJ Tucker be allowed to have a separate room in the hotel for his collection? Valid question. Number 4, are there going to be pregame tunnel walks so Russell Westbrook can thrive? Russell Westbrook, not Wussel, Russell. Number 3, can we get Nick Young in the bubble so he can roast the Fits and ask for a 10-day? You know he's gonna do it. Number 2, what's the over-under on Travis Scott ones in the bubble if they can't get new stuff? I'm gonna say 100%. And number 1, so LeBron already had the championship PEs ready to go or nah? What do you think? Anyway, let's start with a cool story. So the Air Jordan 11 Cool Gray is going to make us appreciate the Wizards' MJ. It's been a few weeks since the end of The Last Dance, the epic 10-part documentary that chronicles Michael Jordan's final season as a member of the Chicago Bulls. However, The Last Dance doesn't signify the actual end of MJ's NBA career. We've got 2 more years in Washington and an era that is slowly becoming more and more appreciated thanks to the power of nostalgia in sneakers. At the time, Jordan's comeback with Washington from 2001 to 2003 was well received by fans of Jordan who wanted to get one last glimpse at the legend, but it was also widely scrutinized and picked apart by the media and detractors who were not used to seeing Michael in anything but Chicago red and black. Jordan himself, he was great on the court for someone of his age, but his various personnel moves that included drafting Kwame Brown and trading away Richard Hamilton did not work out so well. You might be familiar with the various social media accounts and YouTube channels dedicated to Jordan, and they post all of his Wizard highlights like his clean block on Ron Mercer or the time he scored 51 points at the age of 38. But you might have forgotten the missed dunks, the lack of playoff appearances, and the highly questionable treatment of Kwame. If and when Jordan decides to drop a Last Dance sequel and revisit his Wizards days, the foundation is already being laid for the narrative to be nothing but positive. I mean, there are already interviews out there from former Wizards players who dispute what happened behind the scenes and picture MJ as this benevolent leader who was tough but fair. Well, except if you're Jerry Stackhouse and you keep it 2 Virgils all the time. What I'm saying is, the stage is set for the last Dance, and the sneaker that will bring it all together is the Air Jordan 11 Cool Gray, a pair MJ famously wore. And to think, it all started with Jason Tatum. Last week, while the basketball world was in flux over the return of the NBA and what its place was in a world where a global pandemic was still going on, coupled with a global pushback against systematic racism, Tatum brought some levity to the sneaker world when he posted a picture of what appears to be a new retro of the Air Jordan 11 Cool Gray with a higher patent leather cut found in the recent 11s and a mesh upper that has only been seen on samples. Mix that with Jordan boxes that appear to be styled like a retail release, and you've got the makings of a potential holiday blockbuster. Never mind that there are already another pair of 11s set to drop in December that nobody is excited about, and that Cool Gray Lows just came out 2 years ago. The Cool Grays are beloved in the community like they were an OG colorway from '96. And then Complex had to go and ruin our hopes and dreams when they got word from Nike that these Cool Grays were made specifically for Jason because it's a pair he always wanted. Look, if Jason told his reps that he wanted the Cool Grays with mesh because he saw pictures of the samples back in 2010, I would be super impressed. But we've seen other 11s come out that were previously thought to be player exclusive only, so this could be a long tease. And with the 20th anniversary of both the Cool Grays and Jordan's Wizards run coming up in 2021, so many things are conveniently falling into place. It's like they plan these things in advance and we have to act surprised. But I'm on to you, Jason Tatum. I see what you did there. Well played, sir. Michael would be proud, especially if his Hornets had tanked hard enough to draft you. All right, let's start with the Heat Check, the one and only place for totally accurate sneaker releases for the week that is never wrong or undercut by sudden delays and changes in the calendar. Nope, it never happened. Not here. All right, let's start with the Nike Air Force 1 Be True. Those dropped on the 22nd for $120. This classic silhouette is part of Nike's Pride Month offerings, and it features a classic white-on-white AF1 paired up with the LGBTQ rainbow flag and an iridescent swoosh. Very nice. We have the Nike LeBron 17 Graffiti on the 23rd and the Jordan 3 Animal Instinct 2.0 on the 25th for $250. Now, we've covered these two on previous Heat Checks, so at the risk of making the same jokes twice, we're just gonna move on and hope these actually release this time. We have the Nike Dunk Low Champ Colors on the 24th for $100. Since the pandemic forced the cancellation of the NCAA tournament, I guess you could say Virginia's men's team are still the reigning and defending champs, and their prize is this unofficial Nike Dunk colorway based on their team colors. We have the Nike Air Force 1 White Tiger on the 24th for $130. Based on the new soccer kits of the South Korean national team, I'm glad I get to see these hit international releases. Now, I'm hoping that the US can step up with a dope mismatch colorway as well that's styled by Megan Rapinoe. She's got that swag. And then we have the LeBron 7 MVP on the 26th for $200. Now, LeBron retros run hot and cold depending on the colorway, and I'm going to be curious to see which category this pair was that was previously super hard to find. And if you're wondering, yes, I'm still bitter that I missed out on the Media Day 7s. We have the women's Air Jordan 1 tie-dye. Those are on the 26 for $170. This has the potential to be the next big trend for Jordan retros. Remember the success of the first Shatter backboards and how that spawned multiple new colorways in the same style? Get ready for tie-dye breads if these take off. We have the Sean Witherspoon Atmos Asics Gel Light 3. Those are on the 27 for 17,500 yen, which equals about $164. If you're wondering why, it's because the Air Max 97 1 adjacent sneaker will release first in Japan through Atmos retail site with no word yet on a US drop. And then we have the Adidas Yeezy Foam Runner on the 27th. I'm not sure how much these are going to cost yet. It's the first US manufactured Yeezy according to Kanye and has a lot to live up to. Like, can you avoid making croc jokes when you see somebody wearing these in public? And why do they look like a first draft of an H.P. Lovecraft fever dream? They're so weird to me. And for my pick of the week, it's the Air Jordan 11 Cornbread, dropping on the 27th for $185. Look, I'm not the one who started calling these Concord bread, despite not having a hint of Concord purple. I'm just taking it to the end game. Besides, Cornbread 11s has a nice ring to it, even if the shoe doesn't make me hungry at all. Let's move on to Hard Pass, where we take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go, like doubting if your auntie, who used to play in the WNBA, still has her J. Yeah, real hoopers? Never forget. I would know, me, a real hooper. Man, good thing nobody's here to say anything or laugh at it. Social distancing. Anyway, this week's Hard Pass goes to cherry picking the past to make a point in today's climate. When the NBA announced its return a few weeks back, there was a sense of optimism and relief. After being cooped in the house for so long without new sports to talk about, fans were getting uncommonly excited for stuff like The Last Dance and Korean baseball. Even I started paying attention to the Bundesliga, and I'm not even sure how good that league is or if that's how you say it. But with the NBA returning, there was a feeling that some sort of normalcy was going to come back, even if the players were not going to play in their home courts and instead hang out in a bubble for a few months to finish the season. I think that when play resumes, we'll soon forget about the lack of fans in the stands and focus on the games themselves. But now there are questions if now is the right time to come back. Should we really care about LeBron James's quest to win a fourth NBA championship when COVID-19 cases are spiking in the state that the league plans to resume play? Is it really that important for the Clippers or the Bucks to break through and win it all when the country is focused on the problems facing black men, black women, and people of color in America? Meanwhile, in the WNBA, Renee Montgomery has announced that she's not playing this coming season because she wants to continue the fight for change in her community. And we haven't even talked about the extraordinary circumstances surrounding Maya Moore's sabbatical from the game, as she is now going on her second year away as she pushes for the release of a Missouri man who most believe was wrongfully jailed at the age of 16. Some feel that this is the perfect opportunity for a league like the NBA, where the majority of its players and stars are black, to use their platform to promote change on a broader scale in this country. But there is a vocal group that thinks it might not be the wisest decision to go into the bubble and detract from the message. Fortunately, or unfortunately, the messengers of the latter include Kyrie Irving and Dwight Howard, two guys who have earned the scorn of sport punditry for the past several years. It's really that simple. Replace Kyrie with LeBron or Chris Paul, and the discourse is automatically different. But because it's Kyrie and people are also leaking stuff that's designed to make him look unhinged instead of concerned, they're just dismissing Irving's words as just crazy talk. But his words are not crazy. Far from it. Yes, we have all gotten off our jokes about Kyrie's flat earth theories and Dwight being, well, Dwight, and quite frankly, when the time comes, we will get our jokes off again because it's too good to pass up. But this is not the time. Kyrie is an introspective and passionate soul who has gone through a lot in his life and means well if you just read or listen to what he's saying about this moment. And Dwight, well, his intentions are good in this case. If they feel like their message will get lost in the basketball, let them fight the good fight in their community. If some players are afraid of being exposed to COVID-19, that's as good as a reason as any to stay home. And if others feel like pushing for change while pushing for a championship, I can't see anything wrong with that as well. I am for whatever each and every individual player decides to do at this moment because this is all unprecedented. Nobody signed up for this when they were kids. They just wanted to hoop. Now they have a chance to change the world and everybody is going to do it in their own way. Do I have an opinion as to what these players should do? Yes, but I don't know if it's the right answer because nobody knows what the right thing to do is. But I will say this because it's something that's come up lately. Talking heads on ESPN and Fox Sports want to use Muhammad Ali, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Bill Russell as symbols of what athletes should do in times of crisis to fit their own narrative. I wish we wouldn't because even they don't know if what they did is the right or the wrong thing all these years later. We know the sacrifices Ali made when he refused to go into the Vietnam War. When Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis on April 4th, 1968, it was the eve of Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Boston Celtics and Philadelphia 76ers, aka yet another Russell versus Wilt Chamberlain matchup. Russell and Chamberlain didn't know if they wanted to play that day, but eventually they did play after much discussion with their respective teammates and the NBA. When asked about it a few years ago, Russell still fights with that decision and wonders if they all did the right thing.
Well, they asked us, do you want to call the game off? And someone pointed out that 12 or 13,000 people on the streets with emotions off the chart. And if we play the game, then give the folks a chance to cool down. And that's the reason we had the game.
My guess is 50 years from now, when asked about this Orlando bubble amidst the pandemic and a fight for social justice, the players who made the choices to play and the ones who chose to sit will still be wondering the same thing. Instead of getting on our own platforms and blasting them for what they should and shouldn't be doing, how about we just be there to support them instead of telling them what to do? Nobody knows anything for sure right now, and let's stop pretending like we all do know. And that's it for this week. Thank you guys for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade, and I'll see you next week, but not before I show you the guy that's going to mount my outdoor TV, or he'll kick my ass.
If you want to watch some TV outside, you better let me mount your TV. Let me mount your motherfucking TV, and I'm gonna do it the right way.
Who knew that outdoor TV game was that serious? Wow. All right, see you next week. Peace.